Welcome to the Tony Gaskin Show, best-selling author, celebrity life coach, and international speaker. The purpose of this show is to bring you motivation, inspiration, and education in the areas of life, love, and business. Thank you for joining me. Now let's get started.
Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Talks with Tony. Today's question: hello, Tony. I love your advice on your show. Now I need some. First, I initially rushed into marriage, meaning I was not in love and didn't know him enough. Fast forward a month in the marriage, we had a son. Fast forward a year in, our marriage went downhill. I remember I used to cuddle him and loved having him sleep by me. However, it got to the point I didn't want him to touch me. He didn't do anything major. I just detached from him when I was pregnant. He was not there like I needed him to be. Well, a few months in, we got into a big fight. He claimed a friend of mine told him or made it seem that we had something going on. The argument led to him calling me out my name, him going to get the gun, and chasing me around the house to get my phone to call the guy. Eventually, he ended up dragging me by my hair across the floor and covering my mouth where I couldn't breathe. He says he wasn't trying to cover my nose. Anyway, after that, I completely detached from him. Whatever feelings I had died that day. Around the time my baby was 9 months, I sat him down and told him we should go our separate ways. We have been separated 5 years. And over that time, he's told me he loved me, and we verbally said we would try, but it ended up at square one because I didn't feel anything different. Now he's far away and rarely calls his child, but says he misses her so much, and he still tries to act like he's interested in us just a little bit. My question is, why do Christians make divorce seem taboo? If there was any advice you could give to encourage sticking together, would you? Oh, and please feel free to be honest. I believe in divorce. However, I was just wondering, would you try to save something like this? Thank you so much for asking that question. And remember, if you have a question, please send it to inbox@tonygaskins.com. First and foremost, sis, your man is crazy. Your man is crazy. And, one wrong move and you could have lost your life that day. You've been separated for 5 years. And me personally, I do not care what any Christian has to say about divorce, because you will answer to God. You will answer to God and God only. And God is an all-knowing, all-seeing God. So see, divorce is not right when God put it together. So if you just leave because you say, I just want something new. I just want to start over fresh. Or I just want to leave this marriage just because, I'm tired of this same old stale love making we're having. Or I need somebody with more money, or I need somebody who lives in another state so I can move. Or I want somebody a little taller, or a little more fit, or a little darker, or a little lighter. Then that's when it's really, really wrong. The Bible tells you that you should not divorce other than for infidelity. And the reason why it doesn't say or because of abuse is because in that day and age, women could be abused. A woman could be beaten. A woman could be silenced. A woman could be treated like nothing. Women had no rights. So that wouldn't be put in there. But faithfulness for me doesn't just, stand with having sex. Faithfulness is being faithful to your vows. Faithfulness is being faithful to the trust, to the honesty, to the communication, to the honor that we have. If you are unfaithful in any way, unfaithful to your vows to protect and to love and to really be there for your partner and to treat them with love and respect, if you are unfaithful, to those vows, then you are unfaithful to the relationship. You are outside of the covenant. In Ephesians, it tells the husband to love your wife as Christ loves the church. So, and he presented her blemish and spot free so that she may be seen as whole and perfect in the sight of God. So to really love means to love purely, to protect and to provide, to serve. So if a person is unfaithful to that, then they've been unfaithful. And a lot of people are against divorce, and especially a lot of Christians. And to be honest with you, it's really because they don't want to be shunned for their marriage. It's a lot of times someone is holding on to something that they know they should let go, and they just blame it on God and say, divorce isn't of God, or I shouldn't be getting a divorce. I can't get a divorce because of my faith. But then they sin in every other way. They're cheating on their taxes, they're lying, they're backbiting, they're gossiping, doing all kind of other sin, but saying, oh, I can't get a divorce because it's against God. Everything else you do is against God too. So one sin is not greater than another. But they're doing that, and a lot of people, we will use that, and that's when we start to misuse religion, is we will use that to stay in a toxic situation because we don't have the strength to walk away and to start over fresh, brand new. So whenever there is abuse, whenever there is something like that, that comes up, and you already were detached from them, you already, you had a baby a month in, so that means that you were pregnant already. And so that means that you were building on lust. That means you were already in fornication. You rushed into the marriage. You really didn't love them. Then during the pregnancy, you detached yourself from them. Then you all not having enough communication. He asked you about having something going on with one of your friends, which turns into an argument. So either you felt guilty and you actually did have something going on, which would explain itself because you were actually detached from him. You didn't say in the email now that I absolutely had nothing going on and he just kind of went crazy, which normally when I read these, that, tidbit of information would be included. So you didn't say that you didn't have anything going on with him, which if I feel that way, just by reading the email, maybe he felt that way in the conversation, and that sent him, off the handle, blew him, off the handle. And so now he flies off and he goes and gets the gun and he's chasing you around the house. He puts his hand over your mouth, and I'm guessing because you were screaming or something. He's absolutely crazy. So yes, maybe he had a right to be mad. Yes, maybe he felt like what he had heard was true, but he had no right to put his hands on you, to abuse you in that way. And it's very dangerous because even just tussling with the gun, he could have accidentally shot you. And so he's crazy. And if you can get away from that, then stay away. I've said before, and I'll say it again, never hit the rewind button on life. If you left something for a real reason and you know it's a valid reason, never go back. So no, I wouldn't advise you to go back to someone who can fly off the handle. Y'all have been separated for 5 years. He doesn't call his child. He's not the type of man you want. Doesn't sound too mature. Doesn't sound too mentally or emotionally stable. Doesn't sound like a good guy. Doesn't sound like he's where he needs to be in his life. Sounds like he's giving you lip service, and maybe you kind of believe in it, and that's why you even writing in about this. And so I would not go backwards. I would not give him the time of day. I would keep moving forward. I would not care about what anybody had to say. Christian, Muslim, atheist, Watchtower, Jehovah Witness, Mormon. I would not care what anybody had to say, because it would be between me and God. And God knows my heart. He knows what I'm doing, what I'm crying out for, what I need. And that's where I look to for my help, and I wouldn't worry about the naysayers, the haters, the critics, the people butting in your business. So don't worry about that. You got away, stay away. Move forward, heal, learn, grow, and attract real love. Learn from the red flags that you saw and overlooked in your last relationship. Learn from the mistakes that you made by rushing in with somebody that you didn't love, by not getting the time and attention you need and not expressing it to your partner and giving them an ultimatum and letting them know this is my basic needs in love and relationships. And if you don't give this to me, then there's no sense for me to be here. Learn from that mistake, move forward, and get it right the next time. This is Tony Gaskins. Thank you so much for writing in with that question. If you have a question that you'd like me to weigh in on, please send it to inbox@TonyGaskins.com. Inbox@TonyGaskins.com. Thank you so much.